Hey, I'm Carlos Lago, and up next is an episode of Daily Fix, which you'll find exclusively on MotorTrendOnDemand.com. What is it? Well, it's a show that airs most every weekday, and it goes... Oh, shit. What was that?
The camera.
What is it? Well, it's a show that airs most every weekday, and what we do is go behind the scenes and talk more casually with the personalities and hosts of your favorite shows. We take more intimate looks into the cars and vehicles that we drive and build here on the show. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing it. And if you like it, sign up for a free 30-day trial at MotorTrendOnDemand.com. And if not, hey, it's okay. We're all gonna die anyways.
Should just kill this Jeep.
Yeah, do it. How cute. How cute.
Look at that baby Ram.
Oh,
a little 2500. So
How cute. Oh. That's really what happens when you drive a truck this big, isn't it?
It really
You're just
is.
like, everything that's small, you're like, oh, how quaint.
Yeah, and then but the other thing is, can I fit in there? No. Can I fit in there? Probably not.
Well, you make it fit. You just take up all the parking spots. Like, you make the world bends to your will.
I meant more the roof.
The roof. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Again, you make it fit. The world bends to your will.
You raise the roof.
Welcome to this episode of Quick Drive with Jonny Lieberman, as always. Johnny...
So this is not just shut up?
This is... Well, I was going to say it's Johnny Just Shut Up Lieberman.
Ah.
Or Johnny Wait, Shut Up
Wait,
Lieberman.
shut up.
I wonder how long that joke... When is that joke going to run out of steam?
To me, wait, shut up is never going to be
Never?
unfunny.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like something I can't say right now.
I kind of want to put minutes till unfunny on the screen while we do this. We are in a 2017 Ford F-350 Super Duty, MotorTrend's Truck of the Year, and we're going to take it for a quick spin around the block, around the office, and talk about what we like about this truck and sort of the craziness that is driving a Super Duty truck in LA.
All right, I like 925 pound-feet of torque, which lets me just sail like this, blasting past every Lexus and Infiniti in Manhattan Beach.
925 pound-feet of torque.
So just to put that in perspective,
is crazy.
Remember the Bugatti Veyron?
Yeah.
Only 900 pound-feet of torque. You know what I mean? Plus the Veyron couldn't tow squat. This can tow 32,000 pounds.
That is really why I didn't like the Veyron. It's for its lackluster towing capabilities.
I mean, again, math is not my thing, but I think that's like 8 Veyrons. This could tow 8 Veyrons.
Tow 8 Veyrons. Math is not my thing, but 925 is more than 900.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Greater than. Yeah. This thing is like the size of this. This is a dually. This is kitted out. This is huge. But this is like less of a truck and more of a place. It's just so big.
It's gigantic. Yeah, no, it's huge. Our camera guy couldn't film us from the back seat because they're too far apart.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lens that would work.
Like, I have to yell to make sure you can hear me because it's so massive. But when you hop on this, I drove this around a bit yesterday. When you drive this, you realize, like, man, this is really nice.
No, it's a luxury vehicle. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, thinking like, hey, when's Ford's going to do a luxury vehicle? And it's definitely their top line trucks.
Right. The Lincoln flagship is not the Continental.
Yeah,
it's this.
Right.
Yeah. You got leather. You got really comfy seats. You got 2 inches of wood.
I think it's more than 2.
Why, but there it is.
Yeah.
Panoramic sunroof.
Heated, cooled seats. There's a massaging thing happening on that driver's seat.
I don't know if it's massage. Ford has this like circulation technology. So they introduced it in the Taurus 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was like air bladders would just kind of randomly fill up, and so it is to keep the blood in your legs moving, so your limbs don't fall asleep on long drives.
Yeah.
Maybe it's buried in here somewhere. I don't know if there is a menu.
It's probably a button on the side of the seat or something.
Yeah. Also, I don't know why I turned on the street. Anyways,
it's all good. This thing for a 6.7 liter turbo diesel, remarkably quiet.
Oh yeah,
remarkably quiet.
It does sound real trucky. Like if you you gotta like put your ear to it, but it sounds good. But it's not the semi truck.
Yeah, you expect a truck of this size and this power to have that really semi truck sound, that sort of vibration. But no, you barely feel the engine. You hear a little bit of that diesel gravel, but like it's remarkably quiet. And also the acceleration. I mean, obviously with 925 pound-feet of torque, it's crazy. But like a vehicle of this mass should not be accelerating the way this thing can.
Are you sure? I kind of like how
I mean, it should be, right? But like, it.
No, it's crazy. And again, if you look at the other vehicles it competes with, namely the Ram 3500, because we ran numbers at the same time, you know, this is a second quicker to 60 miles an hour, 7.6 to 8.6. Second quicker in the quarter mile. I think this is doing like, I have to look at my phone. I can't do it while I'm driving, but it's either like 14 or 15 second quarter miles, which is goofy. It's considering it weighs 8,640 pounds.
An Integra back in the mid-90s would be lucky to run a 14-second quarter mile.
Yeah. Oh, right? I remember when when the WRX came out.
Yeah.
It ran a 14.7 back in 2002, and people were like, "It's as good as a Porsche 911." You know, and here we are.
And we don't say that as like a practical use for the truck, just to illustrate how powerful it is.
Look,
you know?
I always, you know, when we make things Truck of the Year, right? We have our 6 key criteria.
Which are?
They are advancement in design, engineering excellence, value, safety, efficiency, and performance of intended function.
Which is the most important one.
Yes, but I always like to put in my own personal little X factor criteria.
You would.
Which is it okay to drive? So in other words, you could have a truck. No, but like seriously.
You don't think that's answered in the other 6?
No, because you could have advancement design, looks good, inside's cool. Engineering excellence, this thing hits that, 925 pound-feet of torque, all kinds of cool towing stuff, value, good to drive is not in there, safety, not in there, efficiency, not in there, performance of intended function. You could say,
I would say,
all this thing is designed to do is tow stuff and carry stuff, and it does that. Turns out it's also great to drive.
I would say the intended function of all vehicles is for them to drive well.
Prius?
I mean, yeah, that's why I didn't get my vote.
No, but I would say the intended function of a Prius is to squeeze every last mile out of a gallon
But
of
all
gas.
cars should drive well.
Again, that's why I throw that in there.
Okay.
It has to be there. That's
It's a technicality.
This
we'll
thing,
accept it.
this thing home run the criteria. Even safety, right? Well, okay, 8,000 pounds is a nice safety advantage, but radar cruise control, and if I don't hit the gas pedals, if I can do this in traffic.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah. Let's see. It should start beeping.
Brake?
All right, I'll brake. Anyways, it does have auto braking.
Maybe
we got it working with the trailer. Yeah.
Maybe we don't test that out on public streets.
I don't know. Like, how many Infinities do we need?
Fair point. There's a lot of G35s in the world.
That's true. But anyway, so it's got like it's more than a normal truck, and it nails every single one of those criteria, including value. Because again, this is $73,000. That's a lot of money.
But the Super Duty world exists in that. Like,
that's
the
right.
Heavy duty truck.
In other words, it's not like other heavy duty trucks are free, and this one's $73,000. In fact, we had a Ram 3500 that was $77,000. So is it a bargain? Don't confuse value.
Right at the next light.
Don't confuse. That's their problem. Don't confuse value with bargain. Right?
Yeah, right. It's relative to the segment.
Yeah, so
because that's how Truck of the Year works. That's how all of the year works. It's not a direct comparison between all the contenders.
That's right. That's
it's how they all perform relative to their segment.
Yes, and the criteria. So in other words, that's how we can have a competition where you have a Honda Ridgeline, which did not win Truck of the Year, versus a Ford F-350. We also, by the way, had an F-250 gas, which I don't know who on earth would ever buy that.
That's just a naturally aspirated 6.2, right?
Yeah, you know what I think it is? It's like government agencies where they're like, we need 100 trucks. We don't want to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're like, here you go.
Yeah.
And we also had the F-250 diesel, which was like just beyond cool. Keep going straight.
Yeah, let's go straight. Actually, we could do freeway for a bit. Why not?
Okay. Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
freeway driving.
And we're going to experience. So one of the knocks on dualies is when there's nothing in the bed and there's no trailer, they ride horrible.
Because they're tuned to ride with weight.
Yeah, again, you can put 32,000 pounds, in the bed of this thing, essentially. On the trailer. Only 7,630 pounds in the bed. But unlike, say, the Ram and the Super Duty before this one, and I would even say the Chevys and the GMCs, this ride's pretty good.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of that because there's just no weight at all in the back. I mean, it's something like, I think it's 57% of the weight's on the front, and 43 in the back, so it's very nose heavy. But also, you just have those leaf springs. They're waiting to be loaded up with something, a lot of something. They don't have anything, but Ford did a good job. I mean, this rides. We're going 50 some miles an hour because everyone drives so slow. But
you're right. I remember the last time I did Truck of the Year a couple years back, and I drove a 2500 or 250. It was a Super Duty truck back from Arizona. remember parking it. It was unloaded, so it rode terribly, and it was so bad that I remember parking it and being like, I never want to drive one of these ever again.
Yeah.
Because that's how, grating it was for that 6 hour, 8 hour drive.
Yeah, and again, this isn't great. You feel a little bit of undulation.
Sure, it's a truck.
Yeah, but I'll give you for instance, I actually drove this to the office at some point down the 110 to get from my house beyond downtown, past downtown on the 110. One of the worst stretches of freeway in the world. And this was okay. The 3500, I remember I put in my notes, it was intolerable because it was just
bouncing. Yeah.
And again, they both weigh the same, right? They both make about the same torque. It's just that Ford took the time. Look, feel how smooth this is.
Yeah.
This is an unloaded dually. It feels like a luxury car.
It's because it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's kind of true. It really is true.
But, you might, laugh at the concept of a heavy-duty luxury vehicle, even though this is not what the vehicle is being marketed as. But it's still really pleasant. I mean, that's why complain about that kind of thing. It's a nice to have the functionality and ability that this truck delivers, and that it's nice to drive is also a great bonus, right?
Yeah, and remember, go ahead and laugh all you want. Remember who's really laughing, and that's Ford's accountants, because the F-Series, the F-Series as a whole, you're talking over 750,000 units.
Right.
How many of that are Super Duties? Ford they're reluctant, they lump them all together, they're reluctant to say. The best guesses are 1/3. So that means 250,000 vehicles like this are sold by Ford every year. And
That's
the
insane.
markup on these, it's one of the best in the industry.
It's not the markup, it's just the sheer profit margin, right?
That's what I mean. Sorry, the profit margin is one of the best in the industry, right? So, if you're making 250,000 of anything, the economies of scale dictate that it doesn't cost that much to build versus what you sell it for.
Exactly.
So they're just printing cash.
I mean, and no small wonder then that these things are as good as they are, because they can keep investing that kind of money into it, right? And make all these improvements, like have an aluminum body.
But you could be cynical, like some car makers are, and do nothing. You could just sit on it and here's our brand new model with the same engine and the same transmission, Toyota. But Ford is like, no, we're going to keep reinvesting and make this thing way better than it needs to be. Not only way better than the competition, but better than I think truck buyers expect.
Yeah.
And again, they have remote sensing caps for the trailer's tires, so you can real-time monitor the tire pressure of the trailer you're towing, which is brilliant. But who would have even thought of that?
There's a lot of cool solutions. I was going through the Super Duty build your car, build your truck thing on the Ford website, and there's actually a thing you can option that gives you remote telemetry on the truck. So if you have these in your fleet and you have your employees driving them, you can see how fast they're going, where they're at, how long the thing's idling for, all that stuff.
So Ford loves little 3-sentence zingers, built Ford tough and all that. The other one they use for their trucks and their vans is Ford owns work, and they spend a ton of time with fleet guys. What do you want? How fast? I want to know how fast my guys are driving.
That makes sense.
Because I don't want them to get tickets. I don't want them to crash, and I want to keep my fuel costs down.
Yeah.
So if they're going 70 miles an hour in a 65, I want to know it. If they're going 80, I want to know it, because then I can tell the guy, So they spend a lot of time doing stuff like that. So these seemingly empty slogans, Ford owns work, what it translates to is Ford spends a lot of time thinking about this stuff, and they just do really smart things that the competition isn't doing.
It makes sense if you're a business owner too, and you're looking at buying a fleet of these trucks. What solutions does Ford have over the competition that makes it more appealing, even if the price is slightly different, right? What is the advantage downstream if it saves me money because I can monitor safety, liability, maintenance,
absolutely,
fuel costs, all that stuff.
And I mean, we did a direct comparison with the Ram 2500 to the Ford F-250 and the Ram 3500 to this one, the 350. And I mean, honestly, with the exception of styling, because those Rams are beautiful. I love the way the dually, the fenders are one piece, they're not tacked on. But again, why does Ford have the tack-on fenders? The extensions. Because when you get in an accident, you just replace that part instead of replacing the entire fender
piece,
which is what business guys care about. To you, if you're making an insurance claim, it doesn't really matter. You pay your deductible. What's the difference? But to a fleet, it's much cheaper and easier just to replace a small piece and to replace than to replace the entire thing.
Especially if you're dealing with aluminum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's been the knock against the aluminum, is it is more expensive to repair. because aluminum's more expensive and harder to work on.
Absolutely.
You know.
That said, again, it depends who you talk to. According to Ford, there's no difference. I have heard anecdotally that it is much more expensive to get aluminum body trucks repaired. But again, I haven't spent a ton of time thinking about that. Yeah. I always tell people, we're not Consumer Reports. We are MotorTrend. We report on new metal. Long-term reliability. Well, I wish we had the capability and the
I wish
wherewithal.
Anybody had the capability. It's impossible to test that in a realistic way.
It is. I mean, we do our long-term tests, which are fairly useful.
Yeah.
But even that, that Hellcat, which I've been driving, and everyone's been driving, just cracked 19,000 miles.
Good Lord.
Which is a lot for a MotorTrend long-term car, but in the real world, modern cars go 200,000 miles now before people dump them. Mm-hmm. So how do you report on that? We're not set up for it.
That's really tough. But I mean, this thing clearly nails the criteria for the Truck of the Year competition.
Oh my God! And again, the performance of intended function, right? Mm-hmm. This is a Super Duty. This is a heavy duty truck. You can put almost 4 tons in the bed.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
I don't know, what are
you going to put back there?
I don't know. Right? A boulder. You found a 4-ton
So when
boulder.
you're doing the tow test, what's your mass? What do you?
We actually we went to the Chrysler Proving Ground and they had 30,000. They could build you any trailer you want.
Oh, so they just have custom trailers already.
Yeah, and they just put these 500-pound iron blocks on them.
Yeah.
So we just said, give us a 30,000-pound trailer. So we had this and the Ram yanking the thing around, and yeah, man, you totally want to be driving the Ford.
Testing trucks is super difficult.
It
Especially when they're this capable. Unless you have a facility
you gotta have
does
a facility.
It dedicated. It's really tricky.
That's the other thing too. So 30,000 pounds, you can't legally just run out and do that. Now,
no.
we were at a closed facility. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
But what's it called? A CDL license.
You need a commercial license at a certain point, right?
Yeah. So I think over 23,000 pounds, you have to get a commercial license. Well, why do we get commercial licenses?
Ooh, well, don't do that.
Yes, because...
Don't do that.
So, not that this is an issue, but if you get caught with some alcohol in your system and you're a civilian, 0.08 is the legal limit.
Yeah.
0.01 is the legal limit if you have a commercial license. If you get caught speeding, 1 mile an hour over, it's a much bigger penalty than a normal civilian license.
The penalty, I mean, you should always drive safe and sober, but the penalties are way more significant.
There's no advantage. But that's why we go to these proving grounds, so we can do it in a really safe spot.
Controlled environment.
Yeah, and you can put 30,000 pounds on a truck and go through a slalom and not worry about running over the Prius C next to you.
That's good. That's a very important thing. It's something you have to worry about every day.
I'm had it up to here with Priuses, man. It's I need to get one of them Russian dash cams and just chronicle the amount of Priuses going 43 miles an hour on an on-ramp. They're on an on-ramp.
I think that'll wrap up this episode of Quick Drive. Thank you, Johnny. We'll launch into the Prius diatribe on another time.
It's a California issue, man.
Maybe on Fridays in the Garage coming out. Thank you guys for watching this episode. We'll see you next time. Send your questions to dailyfix@motortrend.com. Slide into Jonny Lieberman's DMs. I'm going to keep going out like that.
It's gross.
Slide into his DMs.
Ew.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Here's what you missed last week on Daily Fix, exclusively on MotorTrend On Demand.
Mercedes-Benz, S-Class, E-Class, C-Class. This is the first one where it's actually the SUV now is as good as a sedan.
Yeah. Just a little bit about Rad Industries. We do specialize in drift cars.
There's a lot of Supers, there's a lot of 2JZs hanging out in this shop right now. Ford F-350 Super Duty.
This was the truck of the year. Look at that baby Ram. Oh, a little 2500.
Look at you.
I'm Carlos Lago, and if you didn't watch last week's Daily Fix, you should do that now. It's exclusive on